If you're waiting to have enough money before you start, then you may never start at all. Think about it. How many times have you procrastinated and told yourself you were going to start that business, but you never did? Months, weeks, hours, years are going by, and you have not started that particular business you have written down. We understand that we all have a journal where we write down everything we think we want to do as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as aspiring entrepreneurs, but it is never done. And that is because we are waiting until we have that huge millions before we start doing what we're supposed to do. I am here to checkmate you and tell you you do not have to wait until you have those millions before you start a business. I started my own business from ground zero. One thing I want to tell you in this video is how to start with the little you have. You have heard it in different places that you do not need money to start a business. I am here to tell you no, that is not overly true. You need at least some few amount of money to start a business, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't start the business. And when I'm talking about cash, I'm talking about the few hundreds that you have. One thing you are able to deprive yourself is that quick gratification. Why not hold and hold on to that and use that particular money to start that thing that you've been writing down? You might be someone who does a 9 to 5 and you want to start a side also. Or you're just someone who just graduated from the university and waiting on the labor market to offer you something. However, if that is not coming to reality just yet, then you need to start something with what you have. Now that money you want to spare to eat that thing like the Chop Life gang, why not hold on to it a bit? Hold on to it a bit. Use it to start something, part of that thing you wrote down. For example, when I wanted to start Ton of Foods, I'm grateful for the people that God has sent my way. People referred me to their friends and families and told them, oh, Oma knows how to cook. And I was able to start Ton of Foods, which is a sustainable African food business here in the country that I am. You might feel like, oh, would that move? Because I got a lot of that from people asking me to probably add the indigenous food alongside the West African food that I'm doing. But I told them this is my specialty and I can do it excellent. I really taught myself. I went into it. I taught myself everything that I knew after going to the catering school. And of course, along the line, I was able to upgrade when the money started coming in. I started with what I have. I needed money, of course. A friend of mine that I met somewhere, the person told another person about my business that, oh, you are a West African in this country and you probably need food because you're a working class. I know someone who can cook for you. We happened to exchange contact with that person. He sent my number to the person and the person contacted me via WhatsApp. We're able to chat. But because this person is a first time customer, he didn't really trust my service that much. I wouldn't blame him. I'm sure he has been betrayed or let down by a lot of food vendors and he believes he's also walking into another trap. So what did he say then? He said, I can make the food, but he's going to pay once he sees the food, once he has tasted it, once I have delivered the food. Anyway, around that time, I do not have a choice than to do what he has said because I need the cash. Baby girl was broke, so I needed something to, of course, start something. I needed to put myself out there. So I took that small risk with the little money that I have. And that is why I'm telling you that yes, you can start a business with little money. When somebody says you don't need to start a business with any money, yeah, there are some businesses you might start with zero money, but I'm still thinking about the money one way or the other. something will come in that would need the cash. And that is why I said you need to put your mind to it that, okay, I would have to spare some few hundreds. It might not be thousands, some few hundreds to start this particular business. Back to my story. I made the food with my own fending. Remember, I was unemployed then, and they were still fending for me, so to say. But I still had to take the risk. So I took this risk. I made the food. The customer tasted it, and he was willing to pay even for the next order ahead because I didn't disappoint him. Now, this is another thing I want to bring out of this. That thing you believe you want to do, you want to sell, make sure you are very good at it. If you're not sure of yourself, you can upskill. There are a lot of ways and a lot of things out there that you can use to upskill yourself. Otherwise, you speak to someone. You speak to someone who you believe is better than you are, so that you'll be able to upskill and be good, very good at this thing that hardly would anybody beat you at this game. Now, when you get that particular money, or when you get your first client, be sure to do this work excellently. And yes, right now I'm not going to do any order if you do not pay at least 70% upfront. But I started by taking a risk with zero deposit, but I used my own money, my upkeep money, to make an order for somebody, and I do not regret that action today. I'm not asking you to do the same thing. What I am telling you is that to start a business, you need some few hundreds, but that doesn't stop you from chasing that dream, from starting that business and going into that stuff. As you're watching this video, you could probably look like, what if I want to start a digital skill? Congratulations. I am so happy because that is what is out there lately. But be sure that that digital skill you want to start is not on AI, ChatGPT, the cloud, and the rest of them, because a lot of people have access to that lately. So, what you need to add to whatever you're doing now is the human experience. My question now goes to us: do you have the experience to sell a digital skill? That is where those few hundreds will come in. You see, when I say you need a few hundred to start a business, I wasn't just making my mouth or running my mouth, because surely you need some few hundreds to start a business. However, that shouldn't discourage you. I believe this is the third or fourth time I'll be saying that, and that is because I do not want you to be discouraged. If you need more help in starting a business from scratch with zero amount, then you can reach me. My contact details will be in the description below. My name is Omar, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like, and share with the people that you believe will benefit from it. I'll see you again in my next video. Ciao.